GABF 2013, Denver, Colorado. I'm here with a bunch of people from Summit Brewing Company. I'm just going to let you guys go down the line and say who you are.
Jeff Williamson, brewer.
Steve Secor.
That's not who you are.
Nate Siats.
At least your shirt says something else.
Steve Secor Packaging.
Cool. So, I always like to hit up the Summit guys. What's new at Summit?
We're still making beer. That's going pretty good and strong. We got a couple new beers coming out in the next few months. Jeff has one of them. We'll talk. I'll let him talk about that. And then we got the next Union Series beer coming out this winter. It's going to be a extra foreign stout, dark, strong, heavy stout. So we're looking forward to that.
Nice. So the Union Series is all about new ingredients. So what kind of new ingredients are you putting in this foreign extra stout?
Well, we're still playing around with the recipe a little bit. We've tried out a new product from Simpsons and a new hop. So we'll just wait and see what happens with that.
All right. So, Jeff, you're the next brewer for the Unchained series, and your beer is coming out any day now. When is the release?
The release party will be October 28th. The beer is a French-style bière de garde. It's very dark red in color, nice and malty aroma and flavor, but finishes dry, about 7.3% alcohol. I think they packaged the first batch yesterday while I was on the plane out to here. So then the second batch gets packaged in 2 weeks, and then it hits stores last week in October.
So you weren't there to grab the first bottle off the line then of your beer?
No, I haven't even actually seen any pictures, so it's just theoretically it was bottled yesterday. I don't know, maybe it hasn't been, so we'll see.
Well, let's ask. You're from packaging. Is it actually in the bottle?
I heard through the grapevine that we finished packaging on our first batch yesterday. So
he wasn't there either because he was on a plane out here too.
So this is all very theoretical. We don't actually know that this beer even exists.
Right.
So, how is it working at Summit? I mean, you haven't been there all that long. It's been a while now, but you've made this transition to Summit. How is that?
The transition's been great. I mean, it's a great place to work. It's awesome people to work with and work for. 150 barrel system. We're brewing 4 times a day. It took a little while to get up to speed with everything because you're just brewing on such a more massive size. And then while I was training in on everything, we started adding stuff like the centrifuge, the whole humongous new cellar, which is great. It's very automated and high tech, and that's awesome to have now with the new 600 barrel fermenters, and so it's been a blast.
So just as you're getting trained in, they're throwing all this new stuff in the mix.
Absolutely. So I actually didn't train on the filtration system that we had when we started, so I kind of went backwards kind of in their training just so that I wouldn't have to train on something that they were tearing apart 6 months later. So that was kind of nice to miss the giant DE filter and all that kind of stuff.
So what is the status of the new the new cellar? I mean, last time I was at Summit, it was still under construction. Is it all up and running?
Yeah, it's been up and running since about mid-June now, and we've had all the kinks worked out in the software system, so everything's pretty automated now. But we've essentially doubled the size of our cellar capacity in a relatively short period of time. So we went from being able to do about 120,000 barrels a year to do about 240, 250,000 barrels a year. So it's, before we were kind of constrained of what we could do, especially with, some of the Unchained series beers. No one's really ever done a lager before. Now we have the capacity to do a lager Unchained beer.
Now, I know you've been allowed to do a lager because you're essentially allowed to do anything you want to do, but have you brewers been restraining yourself from doing that because of that capacity?
Not necessarily per se, but I think we all kind of had some of the ideas of beers we want to do right after the bat, and now we're trying to refocus our energy on some of the more technically difficult beers out there. And lager beers are very, technically difficult to create.
So I want to give Summit some props here. So I've been doing a whole lot of blind tastings lately, just setting them up myself. And I did a whole blind tasting set of English bitters. I had some really good beers in that lineup. I mean, I had the classics. I had the Fullers and the all these classic English bitters. And it was all tasted blind. And at the end of it, which one did I pick as the one that I liked the best? Take a guess.
Summit Horizon Red.
Right. No, good old Summit EPA. It's an awesome beer. It's a beer that I have never said anything bad about, but it's always just, it's Summit. I have a whole new respect for that beer. So kudos to Summit. And to you guys for making that beer. So, enjoy the fest. Thanks for giving me a couple of minutes of your time.
Cheers. Enjoy. Cheers.